buzzard.
This is 100.7 WMMS.
Cleveland. Call the Alan Cox Show.
Is that what you want to do? Think about it, Alan. Once divorced and a broken man.
216-578-1007 or 1-800-348-1007.
Yeah, I had an attitude.
Guardians play late tonight. They're on the West Coast. Lost that first one against San Francisco last night. So they'll try it again tonight. 5-4 was the final then. Tonight, 9:45 is your first pitch. Guardians, Giants, second of 3. They'll finish it tomorrow afternoon and then come home for the weekend to play Sammy Sosa, the Texas Rangers. So 9:45 tonight, 9:15 is when the pregame coverage will begin. Of course, you can listen anywhere you are in the iHeartRadio app. If you listen to this program from out of state, tell me where. I'd like to know where our bureau chiefs are. Jack listens in Hilton Head. Joey is in Dundee, Michigan, home of Dundee's Undies. Alex is a new listener in Houston, Texas. Neva is in Columbus. And Gaylord listens to us out in Wellington, Ohio. We haven't heard from Gaylord in a minute. Remember that guy would call Gaylord?
Oh, yeah. Gaylord's just...
Very kind of stilted speaker. But, boy, he's into Mary.
He's into everybody.
He's into everybody. Let's be frank. Paul Walker would have been 50 today. I know you're broken up about it, but
that is.
I thought that guy was. I thought he was younger. He was a 40.
He died a long time ago.
This November will be 10 years since he died. Yeah,
Wow,
I thought he was like in his late 20s when he died.
No. It was because he started acting in his early 20s, maybe when he was a teenager, because he was in a bunch of movies that were like for kids and stuff too. He was like a Disney Channel kid.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. What was the Meet the Deedles?
Oh, God.
Never heard that.
You never heard of it? I never
No.
saw it, but I remember the name Meet the Deedles.
He was one.
That
of
was
the,
like a
he was
they were
one
a
of the
goofy
Deedles.
family. He was one of the Deedles.
He was a Deedle.
Meet the Deedles. Paul Walker, Dennis Hopper, Robert Englund. Jesus. Twin thrill seekers are hip Hawaiian surfers shipped out to Wyoming for summer camp.
And also, the first Fast and Furious movie came out in like 2001. So those have been going on for a long time. So,
oh my God,
he would
he's just so hot.
He really is.
What a
He is
waste.
The
specimen.
tagline on Meet the Deedles was to protect and surf.
Yeah, 'cause they surf.
Was one of them a cop?
It made $4 million on a $24 million budget. Ouch.
they were surfers that somehow got put in like
They were like in a summer camp in Wyoming.
yeah.
Disney Channel used to love doing that because that was the premise of
This
the
was like an in theaters movie too.
Oh yeah. It was the first one that that Disney studio that was doing all of that DIC that was doing like that will make movies out of action figures and
Oh, okay. I was gonna say
Inspector Gadget, that kind of crap.
this was this was before Johnny Tsunami because Johnny Tsunami was from Hawaii and then he was transferred over to Vermont and then he took up snowboarding as like a hobby. And then they were like, "Well, you're not on this. You're not supposed to be on this turf. These are for skiers, not for snowboarders." And then they start fighting because there's like a rivalry because it's a fancy prep school across the way.
Yeah, he was a good-looking dude, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh my!
I mean, his daughter's 24. I only saw this because his daughter
That's right.
had an article about
He was
you know
in Varsity Blues too.
Yeah.
That was a very popular movie, and she's all that.
He's so hot that if you're one of his siblings, you still get all his scraps. Like they can't bang Paul Walker, but they'll bang
Does he
you.
have siblings?
He has 2 other brothers. His brother was like a stunt double for
okay.
Fast and Furious. So
Yeah. Was he a married guy?
Yeah, I think he was married and had kids.
no one who looks like that was married.
He had one. Yeah, his daughter is his one kid, Meadow Walker. She's 24 now.
You know he was cheap.
Why?
Cheap?
Cheating.
On whom? He wasn't married.
Okay, I'm just making sure if he was married.
This guy's always.
Anybody who's attractive isn't faithful.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But that's not the case.
Oh, God.
Not the case.
You're only as faithful as your option.
That's why Pound Cake's a big Trump guy, because it's all projection. The worst, darkest things in his brain, it makes him feel better to pretend that everybody else acts the exact same way.
So, Pound Cake, if you were in a relationship and you're actually committed and you had a chance to be with someone that's Paul Walker level hot, you're cheating on your significant other?
Respectfully.
But he's not Paul Walker. He's just a dude. He's not famous. He's just a hot guy.
He's as hot as Paul Walker.
Yeah.
Respectfully. Get a hotel room or, somewhere across
But
the
who's
way.
going to pay for it? You aren't.
I would. Or, it depends on how bad he wanted to pay me. We could do it in a car. We could do it a hotel room.
But you would, as long as they're hot enough, you're going to cheat.
I got to make it worth it. He's got to be worth enough to ruin my life.
At least you're honest.
You got
He is
to be
honest.
hot
If
enough to
nothing
ruin
else,
my
he's
life.
very candid.
You're not going to be. I'm not going to ruin my life for anything less than a 10. Not even an 8. But Paul Walker's like a 10. So 10 plus, yeah, you can ruin my life. Because that's the once I considered that. Oh, you're a gem. Like I accidentally dug up something I didn't mean to dig up, but I got it. So it was handed to me. So I'm just going to take advantage of it. It might not ever happen again. How do I know I'm going to get in a car accident tomorrow and die, and I never got that opportunity?
Alan, Pound Cake is speaking like an ugly dude. Faces are real goddamn important.
Yeah, I know they are. But I said...
But he might get into a car crash tomorrow, sir or madam. He might be like Carl Walker. Paul Walker. He might end up... I was thinking Paul Walker was the guy in the car with Ryan Dunn. But that was a completely different crash.
Yeah, that was very different.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, as shallow as you guys paint me out to be, I gave myself, I'm telling you, I'm okay with not having a perfect face if you have a perfect body. Like, you can have I would say, a 6 face, a 10 body, and I would still do it. You can't have a 1 face and a 10 body because that just, it's not proportionate. It's like, it just wouldn't work.
What about a 4? 4 face, 10 body.
Yeah, because I could say,
3?
he has 10 body. No, I think 4 would be...
4 is as low as you're going to go?
4 would be as low as I go.
Who's someone that you...
But again, faces are so important that everyone would give you a hard time because the body's not really that important compared to the face.
I would say
they'd go, cool, bro, but that guy's beat.
I'd say he was looking down the whole time, or,
looking down the whole time.
I was like, I can't see him when his face is down there. You know what I mean?
What's a personality trait that you like?
He doesn't listen
Toxic,
to anybody.
man.
Toxic. That's his personality. Toxic.
Toxic, yeah.
Would you, with the hottest dude you'd ever seen, engage in very recent necrophilia?
No.
He didn't answer right away.
No, because you can't get a boner.
He answered pretty quickly. What's that?
You can't get a boner.
Don't tell
You
me
can.
what I can get a boner
And also,
from. You ever
rigor
heard of
mortis is a
Viagra?
thing, baby.
Freshly dead? No.
Part of me is going to have rigor mortis.
I want you to participate. I want the excitement. Like, I want. Like, I want
He wants to be wanted.
Like, I want to feel. Well, this is not a good. When you're talking about dead body, I was like, I want to feel the weight of a body on me.
You'll feel it like you never felt it before.
No,
It'll be on there.
I want pulses to be racing. I can't do that with absolutely not.
Pulses to be racing.
I want a pulse. I want you to be excited. Like, yeah, we're doing this. It's risky. I got a wife at home. What you doing?
I want you to want me.
For real though, I feel it. Recently, was that your question? Or did somebody text that?
Whose question? That was my question.
Yeah, no. Tried to catch me.
What catch you? I'm just asking questions here.
Okay.
I'm not
Trying to
Barbara
catch you.
Walters. Catch you on
Like,
what?
You almost had me. You almost got me at midnight have sex with a dead body.
Said I wouldn't do Paul Walker or Zac Efron dead. What are you talking about?
I can't catch you on something if you're being candid about it.
I was being candid.
Yeah.
You see how quickly I answered that question?
You did. You answered it very quickly.
It's like I knew what to say.
Yeah. I read that they identified 2 more people from the World Trade Center on 9/11.
Huh?
A couple of days ago. 22 years later, they're still
How?
identifying 9/11 remains.
The DNA?
I guess. A man and a woman were identified using DNA testing more than 2 decades after 9/11. Yesterday, of course, the 22nd anniversary.
That's a different type of torture. Like never getting closure. So that's
Yeah,
pretty much
but
like
you
someone
with
going
something
in-
like that, they weren't lost at sea.
I
You know what happened to them.
But like you just, I guess so. You know they're probably dead in the building, but you just can't confirm it. Because then what do you say? Probably deceased?
I wonder.
Their life just pauses.
I wonder if there was anyone who blew off work that day.
Oh, yeah.
No. Who blew off work that day, but used 9/11 to run off and change their identity.
You think people got, I mean, can you, I don't understand. Why would they
okay,
do that?
I've been talking to Pound Cake too much now
Yeah,
over the
what do
last
you-
couple of minutes, so my brain, by osmosis.
You need to explain more of your thought process.
I will. Let me Pound Cake you here for a second,
Okay.
all right? I'm gonna, you know how Pound Cake likes to misuse Inception?
Give us the cake.
Yep, I'm going to...
Cakeception.
Huh?
Cakeception.
I'm going to Cakeception you here with this theoretical situation, okay?
Yeah.
Two people who were fooling around, and they both work at the World Trade Center. And they've talked about running off. Now, obviously, there's no way to confirm or deny this. That's why it's hypothetical. And they plan on running off. They're just not sure how to do it. And then 9/11 happens. And they both...
And they're like, this is our shot.
They had skipped work or got out of the building, dealer's choice, and they ran off. And they changed their identities.
I think that changing the identities thing is way more difficult than people
So then they could, so
think.
that they could be dead?
It's not hard to disappear
So they
yourself.
disappeared, yeah.
Yeah. So
I
everybody
They
think
thought...
claim that they died in the Twin Towers.
Everyone thought they were killed in 9/11.
Everyone's going to know when I change my Instagram handle.
Yeah. Same pictures.
They'll be like, same dog, stupid.
The medical examiner's office said the man was confirmed through the DNA testing of remains. So they recovered the remains 22 years ago, but they just now confirmed the identity. The woman, they found her remains in 2001, 2006, and 2013.
Ugh.
They are the 1,648th and 9th victims whose remains have been identified since 2001. The remains of 1,100 people, or 40% of the people who died, have yet to be identified. That's the real kick in the balls, that almost half the people aren't identified. 220 others died out there in Arlington County, Virginia, and then that fourth plane crashed outside of Pittsburgh in Shanksville. That's wild.
Yeah. We were watching there's a Netflix documentary on the BTK killer.
Oh, yeah.
And they caught him based on I think it was like more than 22 years, 25-year-old DNA by swabbing his daughter's pap smear. His daughter's pap smear matched his semen that was left at a scene. Like, you could tell that she was the offspring. So that's how they found his name, and that's how they caught the guy.
DNA is so
From
gross.
25-year-old semen. That's the kind of stuff that blows my mind. That stuff just doesn't go away.
It's a bloodline. It
I
doesn't go.
must kill Pap Schmear. Will that be with cream and sugar, sir?
Must
heck
kill
is that?
Pap Schmear. The Naked Gun.
Oh.
Anywho, 25-year-old seaman. I'm playing him on 2 Hours to Midnight this Saturday night.
Hell yeah, you are.
It's 120 minutes of metal here on the Buzzard. This is also the 10th anniversary of the World Cheesemonger Invitational. You know, there are a lot of different kinds of mongers. There's fear, there's hate, cheese. And they call this the Olympics of Cheese. This is going to be happening in France this week. And there's a big, long thing about how people can get in.
What about, how many if you make bread, you're not a monger? Like, you're a
Dough
baker.
monger?
You can't be a dough monger, yeah.
Call yourself a
Pizza
dough monger.
monger?
Yeah, see if it takes off.
I think we're underusing monger. I think it's a great
Fish
word.
monger?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is
joke monger.
This is hey everybody, yeah, joke monger Bill Squire joining us here instead of funny man. The Olympics of cheese is what they call it. And there was a big, fortunately for you guys, I speak enough French where I can tell you what the guy is saying in the video that they put out. People think cheese is good to eat. It is better to smell. It is the only time that the smell of a fart makes people hungry. The beefier the heater, the more delectable the cheese becomes. Many cheesemongers opt to age their cheeses in a cave because it can be very damp. Just like the best farts, or as we call them in France, les tutti-tuts. We will judge cheeses both hard and soft to determine which taste the fartiest. That's what he said. That's very exciting.
No wonder French is a romance language.
Yeah.
Because that was way sexier than all the fart talk.
It really was. Listen, it can be very damp in your cave. So whether you're mongering hate or fear or fish or dough or cheese.
Or jokes.
I don't know how joke monger is going to go over.
You don't like it?
It's not if I like it. Do the people like it?
Gossmonger.
Perez Bilton Gossmonger.
Yeah, hot Gossmonger.
That's pretty good.
Inside Sources.
Like a damp cave.